Welcome everybody, this is Rocket Future, documenting and sharing the most exciting moments in spaceflight. My name is Andrew, and today we're live with live views of Starbase down here in Boca Chica, Texas, where there is a intermittent road delay scheduled from 8 a.m. Central Time to 10 a.m. Central Time. So basically the next 2 hours there is an intermittent road delay scheduled. And what that means is most likely SpaceX will be using that opportunity. They'll be impeding traffic in one way or another for some reason. And we think the most likely reason for that is because they want to roll Ship 24 from the launch site down to the build site a couple miles down Highway 4. So kind of surprisingly, Ship 24 is still kind of nicely nestled into the chopstick arms, as we see in that left-hand screen. The next thing we would expect to see is those chopsticks open up, and we would start to see it move towards the gate here at Starbase. Hoping to see Ship 24, this rocket, move down the road here, but we're going to have to wait and see. The road cones are in place, and there are sheriff vehicles in the vicinity that look like they could be here for some impending activity. There's a couple different places in the launch site that you can keep vehicles. You can keep a booster on the orbital launch mount. Ship 24 is right next to the orbital launch mount, and then Ship 25 is currently on the suborbital infrastructure. Ship 24 was destacked off of Booster 7 yesterday in preparation for some Booster 7 static fires. So there's not really anywhere to put Ship 24. So that's one of the big reasons why we think that Ship 24 could roll back to the build site today or another day in the near future. Of course, you don't want it anywhere near Booster 7 when it's going to do its next static fire, which could end up being the 33 engine static fire. Okay, hold on, folks. I may have an update here shortly. What I'm looking at right now is some employees untying a piece of the gate that leads into the Starship launch facility. My guess is that once they finish untying the gate, that could indicate that they're about to open this gate, which would mean they're opening up space to roll something out of the gate. So this could be great news. And Ship 24 is moving. Okay, breaking news, everybody. I just got really excited. Ship 24 is moving. What we're about to see is a rollback from the Starbase launch facility to the build facility. Alright folks, in the top right hand screen you can now see my location as we roll towards the build site. And we are rolling. A historic moment, potentially the last ever roll back of Ship 24. Ship 24 is looking beautiful after all of its recent testing. Of course, we do know it just went under its wet dress rehearsal along with Booster 7, configured in a full stack. From this perspective, I don't see any concerns with Ship 24. Everything is looking pretty good externally. The question is how S24 is doing internally, and I'm sure they'll take a look to make sure everything is looking good when it's back at the build site. You can see some of those counterweights at the bottom. We talked a little bit about this last time. A lot of people are surprised that they ship these vehicles down the highway in a vertical orientation. However, they use counterweights on these SPMTs, or self-propelled modular transporters, to make sure the center of gravity is very low in the vehicle. I used the analogy last time. If you were holding an empty tall can from the bottom, as long as you had a really good firm grip on the bottom, the chance of it blowing over is pretty slim. Again, think of like a tall beer can or like Red Bull, those tall cans. Empty it out, grab it from the bottom, and you get a pretty good grip on it. There would have to be a decent amount of force to blow it over. Now, of course, again, oversimplification of it, but that's kind of, I feel like, a pretty good analogy. You can think of it as a large flatbed. You can tell I'm hungry. You can think of it as a large flatbed with many, many wheels that independently turn. From this angle, you can kind of see that that little payload slot has been welded up on ship 24, S24. We don't expect there to be any payload for the launch of the first full stack. That slot has also been welded up on ship 25. So no payload expected on ship 25 either. Is it past the entrance to the build site? If ship 24 is past the entrance to the build site, which I'm trying to figure out, that would mean it could be going to the rocket garden or taking an alternate route. Now, hypothetically, even if they roll it into the rocket garden, that's not the worst news. That doesn't mean that S24 is done. It could just be a temporary holding spot for S24 until the Booster 7 testing is done.